guys, Chris here from Kite Republic. I'm here with duotone foil designer Jerome Bonieux. So here today to talk about the differences in stabilizers between the bolt-ons and the monoblock system in the duotone lines. I'm holding a screw-on versus monoblock, and yeah, we've found some really interesting information over the last couple of days about the major differences between those, and thought maybe if you could talk us through that, that would be fantastic.
Sure. So basically, for the last 2 years or so, we came up with our integrated D-Lab system for the front wing, merging it into the stabilizer. So kind of the logical step forward was to do the same thing at the rear of the fuselage, merging the back wing with the rear part of the fuselage. So that we end up with a completely streamlined system, get rid of as many of the bolts as we can, and all the turbulence and drag associated with a traditional screw-on. So yeah, we just basically made some prototypes, went on the water, compared them back to back, and it was just clear as day that these new monoblocks were just bringing something new, some extra performance to our front wings. They allowed us to actually downsize because of the reduction in drag coming from the rear of the stabilizer. You can basically replace, for example, a PX 160 screw-on. You can replace it with our new PX 145, so a smaller tail that will give you the same amount of front foot pressure. And that's without changing anything on the front wing. So same profile, same angle of attack, same everything, same position on the fuselage. And that's a very clear sign that that there's less drag happening on the system, because you are able to run with exactly the same pitch control with a smaller stabilizer. So obviously when you do that, you suddenly unlock a lot of maneuverability because you're riding a smaller stab and you've got less drag again because the stab itself is smaller. So it's really interesting. Obviously sort of targeted at the intermediate to advanced rider that wants to extract as much as possible from his glider setup. A little bit less convenient in terms of being able to obviously swap fuselage length, swap tails, play with the tails. You know, so obviously the screw-on still has its place in our lineup for someone that still wants to keep things maybe a little bit more versatile and wants to play around with some of the tail a bit more. For the guy that just wants as streamlined as possible of a setup, then we've got that option of the monoblock tails.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think you gave a really good explanation of the turbulence difference as you were chatting the other day, just in regards to that. And you said, I think you were saying, was it around 15% or thereabouts, like just by getting rid of all of that, or well, I can't remember what the number was.
I don't think we really put a number on it, but what I essentially felt straight away was that with the very same tail, so when I went with the very first prototype, which was a PX 160 on the same fuselage length and everything, put it on my board at the same mass position and everything, and all of a sudden I had way more front foot pressure, especially at high speed. So that tells you straight away, all right, this setup is dragging a lot less from the tail, and your foil is suddenly wanting to come up a lot more, which then allows you to run a smaller tail essentially. And this was like just clear that there was a performance improvement with these monoblock tails.
Absolutely. And yeah, you don't, I mean, when you just look at it from the top, you're like, oh yeah, very similar. Then you look at it from what's going on there, and you say, oh my God, there's just so much extra going on, and bits for water to be moving around. Nice. So
probably the last thing we can talk about is, because we get rid of this area where the insert normally sits and the screws need to go through, which acts like a bit of a vertical fin almost. And with this one, we have something that's almost completely flat. Obviously it allows the foil to sort of slide and turn a lot more as well in the water.
Yeah.
So again, it just gives it that sort of more buttery feeling, where you don't feel like you've got something sort of acting like a fin. And again, for wave riding and anything like that, it's amazing to feel that foil being very, very loose under the foot.
Yeah, and I guess in that same vein of acting like a fin, is there any negative to it at high speeds, or?
So funnily, you could think, well, that's probably a good thing to have this fin to keep you straight when you're going very fast. But that's another area where we found the monoblocks were actually better at high speed.
Okay.
Somehow
lack of turbulence, or
I think it must be at least we attribute it to the fact that there's less turbulence happening here, and it's just super smooth. It actually tracks even better than the one with the fin. So really, we could not, apart from the fact that you can't really play around with angles and fuselage lengths and everything, everything else just seems better. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for the information. And guys, if you would like to try the standard bolt-ons versus the monoblocks, then make sure you hit us up or come grab a demo at kiterepublic.com.au.